everybody on YouTube? It's your boy, the Memphis XL. Alright, welcoming you back to check this out. The show, we take a look at whatever deck we want to take a look at, being a troll deck, rogue deck, casual deck, or meta deck. And we have ourselves a good old time. So, today, everybody, we're taking a look at the deck that turned the meme into the dream. It's time for Magnifistorm, the archetype that allows MST to finally negate stuff. So we got ourselves our deck here today. We're going to go in yugioh Pro, that Wild West Yu-Gi-Oh! Going to show off the combos and the wombos, the what do's and the what not do's, and have ourselves a good old time getting out a bunch of birds, destroying a bunch of back row, all the good stuff. It's kind of like playing some more, but we'll get into that later. For now, though, if you want to know the whole deck profile, that's going to be at the end of the day. There's also going to be one of those YRK files. If you play yugioh Pro, that will be in our Discord, and I'll put that up there later. But for now, we're going to head on into the action, show off what this baby can do. Don't forget to hit up all the good buttons below if you enjoy what we do. For now, let's head on to the action and show off some Magnifistorming and get rid of them back rows. Alright, everybody, our first opponent, another day and another card game. Preferably, you want to try and go first in this deck, seeing as Magnifistorming really benefit off of less back row being available. So we're going to, go first. That's what we want to do. Hopefully, we get the perfect hand. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid opening hand. You always do like to start with the Runick monsters, because Magnifistorming does lock you into birds. But as long as I got myself a Runick, I can get little old Hugin here. And I have discard fodder, so I can get my field spell, and, well, I don't have that many, quick plays too much at the moment, but that's not a big issue. I also have Krothia, which is really, really good, so we got ourselves a nice opening hand. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and get out Magnifistorming Suen. All of the Magnifistorming monsters, at least the low-level ones, and special summon themselves while your opponent has no back row. It's really potent. And let's see, I've got Magala already. I'm going to get Sovereign in a minute. Decision-making time. I'm going to get our Magnifistorming summoning technique for later, so I can set my boss monster. I think that's the smartest move. We'll also summon Magala, and we're going to activate our summoning technique. This is essentially kind of like, what do you call it? This is Foolish Burial for the deck. I'm going to search an MST for later. We might get Ash here. Okay, we're not going to get Ash. That's great. I just realized this guy has no back row, so this is definitely some kind of Monarch deck of some variety. But for now, it doesn't really matter. We'll summon out Krothia. We have Magala, who's going to get me another monster. So this is going to let me search all the things. Now, we've already got Suen, so we're going to get it for Erdem here. You will notice as well, these guys don't really have a lot of attack points. They're really reliant on a lot of interrupting the opponent. But for now, Erdem is going to get me a monster, or MST if I want it. And then, with Krothia, I get an MST and a spell trap. So, let's see. We're going to get ourselves our Beauty Valrune to our hand. I'm going to summon this thing out later once I play a quick play spell. And we're going to add to our hand our Magnifistorming Sovereign Tyranny and our Typhoon. That way, I will be able to negate a bunch of stuff, barring my opponent only play monsters, of course. That would be a problem, but I have ways around it. So we'll set up all the back row in the world. See where this is going to go. You're going to Nibiru me? That would kind of stink. Then again, I have enough power on the board. I don't think it would matter too much. We'll activate Runick Fountain for later. We can't use it at the moment. But I have methods of using it if I need to. So we'll end our turn. And we have ourselves a nice opening board here. This is what we usually like to see on our opening board here. We're going to activate our Magnifistorming Sovereign Tyranny here. Basically a good thing. Once per turn, I can target 3 quick plays in the graveyard, shuffle them back, including 1 Magnifistorm. I can draw a card, boost the power of all my birds. More importantly, however, is that when I play myself a spell card of the Mystic Space Typhoon variety, I can target any card on the board and negate its effect. So that's once per chain. It's pretty dang powerful, you know? It's a really good thing. I can just negate stuff. And yeah, he can use his pantheism. I really don't care too much. That's fine by me. I would rather just find out what my opponent's doing first, and then we'll do that later. We'll figure out to negate things later. Alright, so what did he... I swear, yugioh Pro's log is being slow today, but not a big problem. Not a big problem if we don't know what he searched. Or, he just drew stuff. What did he discard? That's a pretty good discard right there. We'll see. We'll see. But like I said, I'm pretty set. I've got all my monsters on the board. I've got my Vortex Beauty Valrune. Once I have MST in the grave, this is my negation. If I have 2 in the grave, I can destroy monsters that this thing negates. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I still don't know what Beauty Valorant is supposed to be, though, because its artwork is very confusing. Like, the others are either bird people or birds. This, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but either way, doesn't matter. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I've got a pretty solid start right here. Once I get another Runick, I'll get to draw a whole bunch of cards. But that's kind of what I want to do with the Runicks, is to get out your monster, get out your field spell, be able to play some Runicks from the hand, interrupt the opponent, all the good stuff. It's a very control-y sort of deck, ultimately. Balls! Literal balls! Okay. That stinks. I mean, that's not the end of the world necessarily, but I didn't really play around links too much. Links, I didn't do too many of. I mean, I have... okay, hold on. This is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. Fixing my hat here. I can tribute summon. I can tribute summon too. This guy has tribute summons. I have tribute summons. Okay, I can just tribute summon Beautiful Rune. Okay, if I need to, because I'd rather do that than letting him do stuff. Okay, so he's going to be doing that. I'm going to activate MST to negate, because now I have my Tyranny, and it's negate of Monarchs Revolt. So that gets negated. Get negated, son. Alright, so what do you got? Ooh. You discarded... okay. Not a problem. But Magala will activate. And this is going to special summon Magnifistorm. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring out Beautiful Rune. And I'll use Magala, bringing out... let's see, I think it was Erdem, right? I can also just summon out my Pyre Phoenix, but I really want to tribute summon that right at the moment. So we're going to go ahead... Actually, I should just get Krothia again. Yeah, let's just get Krothia again. Because obvious reasons are obvious. Gets me double the search. Why would I not go for that? I can get anything I want with Krothia. That's the cool thing. Alright, so this is going to get out... yeah, Adea. Alright, that's what you're going to do. But I'm going to do things too, Mr. Monarch Man. Mr. Monarch Man. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm going to get myself my Great Pyre Phoenix. But I just realized his name isn't Phoenix, it's Phonix. It's like I'm hooked on. Am I hooked on Phonix right now? I don't know. Either way, what do we got? We got Adea going its thing. Get at Eidos. And that gives him another summon. Okay. That's fine at the moment. I am okay with this. I could stop it. But basically, if I needed to, I could MST. Yeah. Let's do that. We're going to MST our own Runick Fountain. That way, I can activate my Tyranny, get rid of triple tactical talents, no pot of greed for you. And, let's see, I will use the effect of Hugin, protecting my field spell, because I just want to keep that around for now. And let's see here. I'm not going to recover things yet, but some point in the future. I also could just summon out my Phonix right now, but again, I need something to tribute summon. Because if I don't, there's a slight chance he gets back this giant golden ball. I don't want my opponent to have the giant golden ball. If he gave it to me, I'm going to use the darn thing. I'm just going to use the darn thing. Oh, okay, so you have your Eidos. You have another tribute summon, which I assume you're going to go in for Erebus. Or whatever Monarch you're playing, who knows which monster. It could be anything. Primarily, though, it's probably going to be Erebus, but it could also be Ether. It could be Ether, too. Let's see. No. I'm good. So, during the end phase, let's go ahead and activate our Magnifistorm. Get back some of our quick play spell cards. And I can draw a card, make my monsters a little bit bigger. Alright. Ooh, Druid to Slumber. Not that I need it, but I have it. I have it, even though I don't need it at the moment. So let's go ahead and boop, boop. Watch it droop. We got our Great Pyre Phoenix. And we're going to activate our summoning technique. We're going to go ahead and search MST so I have more negates and things. And this will activate Great Pyre Phoenix's effect. Phoenix, whatever his name is. Let's see, no. And that will search me out my MST. And that'll activate Phonix. which shuffles 2 cards on the field back into the deck. Really powerful monster, this guy. He can also be summoned back from the grave if you MST stuff, but you don't do that quite as often. But it is something you can do. Let's see here. I think we're Gooch. I think we're Gucci. I think we're doing fine. I'm just going to attack this dude. What are you going to do? He might have, I don't know what he would have, but he has something. He has something or another. But, oh yeah, the rune. I always think with the Runicks, you skip your battle phase. So I kind of messed that bit up. I didn't get to go for main phase 2. It doesn't matter, but yeah, that could have been dicey. But yeah, that's one kicker. That's one little thing. The Runicks do have their challenges in this deck, where you have to start with the Runicks, and you have to remember battle phases are only occasional with this deck. You sometimes just have to interrupt people to death with this thing, but that is essentially how this deck plays. You just want to get the Runicks on the board to start, get into your Magnifistorms, get your monsters on the board. They might be small, but I have the ability to interrupt my opponent for days with things, especially like Phonics here. And then eventually we wear our opponent down and we start whacking them with Giant Bird. That is the plan of this deck. So let's go for duel number 2. Hopefully show off a little bit more back and forth. That was a good warm-up. I'd like to have a nice back and forth with my opponent. That's what I like to see. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Although I don't get to go first, so that could make things dicey, but we'll see where it goes. Opening hand's not too bad. I mean, I've got Magnifistorming Sight Trace, which is great. It's my draw power spell. We're up against Dragontails. Okay. Dragontail can be tricky. They got some really annoying cards in Dragontail, which is weird because I rarely see anyone ever play Dragontails, but I know that they're a fusion archetype, and I know that they have the ability to, like, spin cards back into the deck or whatever they do. I know they got a bunch of traps and things, so we'll see how this is going to go. This is the thing that lets you fusion summon. Yeah. Okay, into a thing that is definitely not a dragon. Let's see, this is going to target monsters, use a material, return to the hand. Okay, 2 or more monsters at the grave at the same time. Well, is it in the graveyard? Bring it back. Cool. And ditching a Furos. And, I originally considered Furos in this deck just for added draw power. Then I thought to myself, nah, I really don't want it. I mean, I'm already using Ash Blossom. That's more than enough. If you need to play 3+ hand traps in the deck, your deck has issues. That's all I'm going to say. So what do you got here? Got your fusion spell numero dos. Okay. Okay, luckily this thing doesn't negate or anything. It's just like returning cards. It's only when it's fusion summoned too. So right now it doesn't do much. Although I guess it is allowing my boy to fusion summon again. So there you go. So we'll see where this is going to go. Let's look at our hand. Let's look at what we've got. Let's see. I got my Sight Trace. I can draw 2 cards, discard a Magnifistorm or any quick play spell. I've got Runick Destruction in case my opponent does play a back row. That's good. I already got Sovereign Tyranny, so that's nice. What does this do? Activate a Dragontail card. Target card, destroy. 2 or more monsters that set the grave at the same time. Summon this card, yada yada yada. Yeah, so this guy, yeah, he's got the trap that can return my cards to the hand. And then target a spell trap and negate its effects. Yep. Not ideal, but we'll see where this is going to go. I'm going to start with my Runick Destruction spell. We're going to go after that set card of the Dragontail's Horn. See where this is going to go. See if I can bait out a negate here. That'd be pretty sweet. See, place a Dragontail card. Blah, 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 blah. Ah, very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright, so he'll negate my Runick Destruction. That's just what it is. Let's see. He gets to pull back a card, draw a card, yada, yada, yada. Cool! I'm going to activate Lightning Storm now. So, return to the hand and replace Dragontail. Okay, let's just destroy all my opponent's face-up monsters. I think that works just fine. I just wanted to get these things off the board, because I don't think he has any protection for these. That I'm aware of, anyway. I don't think so. Unless he's got something in the hand. Unless he got something in the hand there. We'll see. But let's go for our Magnifistorming Sight Trace. And we will search MST. Yes. Now, one bad thing about all this is it's nice that we're interrupting, like, pretty much everything my opponent wanted to do. But the bad part of all this is that I can't battle phase. Because, oh, wait, no, I got negated. I think I do get a battle phase. Well, I'll enter it anyway, but yeah. Because if the Runick spell had gone through, I would not have a battle phase. So that's just one thing to note. Let's see, let's get out of that chain order to make sure nothing shenanigans-wise happens. We'll blow up Dragontail's horn. And remind me how these spells work? Sent to the grave at the same time. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and get Krothia out on the board so I can get myself more stuff. Get myself another MST. Get all Krothia on the board. Do our thing. Probably get hit with a hand trap at this point, because I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Yep. Okay, go spell Negate. Well, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate, but I still have my sovereignty, so that's sovereign tyranny, whatever we call this thing. Okay. Not ideal, but I still cleared a board. Oh, balls, you had the... Oh, right. He's just going to fuse again. And then if he sends a whole bunch of stuff to the graveyard, he can just, like, fuse again, can't he? Or something. Or, like, he can bring back everything. Oh, balls. Balls! Not a fan of this. Not a fan. Oh. Like I said at the beginning of this duel, Dragontail's got some annoying junk. Just, discard a card, get a fusion off. That's pretty crazy, right, in and of itself. Especially when you consider that Altharian does what it does. It targets on the field, add to the hand, and you just get back any monsters. That's another crazy thing. Yeah, all those fusions are coming back, so I think I just lose right there, don't I? I lose because of one bloody hand trap. So if I could have gotten some MST in here, oh boy, would have been game over. But unfortunately, I think I'm boned. Which is just unfortunate indeed. I mean, I'm going to keep dueling, but I don't think I can do anything. Not especially. So, a regrettable thing, this is what happens when you don't get to establish control in a control-esque sort of deck. Is that this is going to happen, but, that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfortunately is sometimes. Sometimes you get everything you want, sometimes you don't. So we'll go ahead and do our third duel. Like I said, I'll keep dueling just in case, but this guy's got all the hand traps and the annoying junk in the world, so I don't think there's anything I can do here, but we'll pick ourselves up in the third duel, hit our opponent where it hurts. We still got stuff I'd like to do with this deck, so let's go for our third opponent and see what comes of it. Alright, everybody, it's time for our third opponent to fight in third. All through, all in. Let's get it going. Hopefully we just go first. That's all that really matters. If I go first, I'm golden. I don't need to worry about a lot of things. So that's what we're going to do. Going first, what do we have for a hand? Not too shabby, not too shabby. Could be a little better, could be a little worse, so we'll see where it's going to go. We're going to go ahead and start off with our Runick Fountain. Get that on the board, and I already have Tyranny, which is great. Yeah, we'll activate the Runick Tip. We'll just search out a Runick card, just keep things nice and loosey-goosey for the moment. Little loosey-goosey. For now, let's see, let's get ourselves Runick Freezing Curses. Get ourselves some cards set up, and we'll activate our Fountain just now, just to get some cards into our hand, and we'll search out our Krothia from our hand to the board. I say search, we're going to just special summon, you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll get Krothia out, activate his effect, and hey, we drew into Flashing Fire, that's even better. Hey, nice. Very nice indeed. For now, though, let's go ahead and get MST, and I really wish I could get a second MST, but I'm not allowed to. Let's get Suen. Why not? I just want to like MST all over the place. Now the MST Negate stuff, I want it all the time. On my board, in my hand, just constantly. So we'll activate Suen's effect. Go ahead and get another MST. I could just get anything else as well, but I just kind of want to have double MST. I don't know what it is. I just want it. I want it. That's what I'm going to get. So another nice opening board here. Not quite as beefy as the last one, but it's a good start. So like I said, now we'll go ahead and activate our Sovereign Tyranny. Get that nice and set up. I guess that is the blue one, isn't it? I still don't know what it's supposed to be, though. I really don't. So we'll see where this is going to go. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no. What have I done? This is a Kuriboh deck. Oh, no. This is my kryptonite. You want me to beat up a Kuriboh player? There's rules against that. I'm actually morally, like, horrified at the prospect of beating up a Kuriboh player. They're my boys. They're my brothers. I can't be. I'm gonna feel so bad having to beat up this guy. I legitimately am because I love Kuriboh. It's my favorite archetype. And look at this dude. He doesn't give a hoot about what I have on my board. He don't give a single stinky. He just wanted to hit me with them fur balls. Wants to beat me up with the Pom Pom brothers. Okay? So I'm just looking at this and like, I'm torn. I'm very torn. Very torn. Also, really good hit on the 5-star. I mean, I could have negated that, but still, that would have been a really good top deck for him. So let's see what this is going to go into. Ah, you're hitting up old school on me, huh? I remember playing Princess Sylvan Sprite when I first started playing Kuribohs on EDO Pro. Oh boy. Oh boyo. My opponent surrenders. In the spirit of Kuribohs, I cannot count that as I'll count that as a win, but I'm going to have to go for one more duel after this one because I feel really bad about that. But yeah, we technically beat Kuribohs, although calling it beating them is kind of a bit of a stretch because, you know, this guy just waited one more turn. He would have top decked the card. He would have top decked into Kuriboh, and then things would have gotten dicey for me for certain. So let's go for one more and show off a little bit more of the deck because we showed off most of what we're trying to do. I like this deck and I want to play some more of it. Alright everybody, it's time for the fourth and final duel of the day, the last chance at romance. And we're going to see where this is going to go here for us today. We got ourselves some nice games so far. Let's head on into the finale and see what we got. Okay, not a bad spread right here. That's actually pretty good. I'm thinking we'll use Runick Destruction here. I'd rather use this and save tip for getting nice stuff onto the board. For now, though, we'll go ahead and get Hugin out onto the board. We're going to have to discard a card, which is a little annoying, but it's what it is. So I'm thinking ditching Erdem, so I can still use Magala, that sort of thing. And we'll chain Krothia. Yes, this ought to work just fine. So we'll get Krothia onto our board, get our Runick Fountain, build up a nice little repertoire of stuff. So, with Krothia, let's go ahead and get MST, get all that set up. Because, you know, I could get other things. I could do other dues, but the name of this deck is MST Negates. You have to go with the MST. That's just like, it's your bread and butter. You have to do it. It's like a thing. We'll summon out our Bagala, get that out on the board, and we'll activate our Runick tip, which I just realized I forgot to activate the field spell because I'm a dumpty. I'm a dum-dum. Okay, not a problem. I messed up slightly there, but not a big deal. Let's just add Runick Freeze Curses for now. Banish the... Oh man, that Mizuki must have hurt. That must have hurt just as much as me messing that up, but that's not a big problem. That should be good. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I could have drawn some more cards, and that's my bad, but that's not a big deal. Hey, if I was going to lose... If those two cards is all that came between me and losing, then clearly I was going to lose one way or another. Let's put it that way. For now, though, we've got ourselves pretty set up. I got a Monster Effect Stopper with Milling. That'll also just let me draw a whole bunch of cards. And I got MST to negate anything I want. This seems like a bait. I'm not going to fall for it. Although Foolish Burial in a presumably zombie deck is a really, really potent thing. Doesn't even matter what it's going to be. So this is going to be Skull Servants, maybe? Possibly. Hard to say. Algul, Mazera, and Gozuki. Okay. Fascinating. Let's wait for him to use Gozukai's effect before we do anything else. Alright, let's activate our Freezing Curses. I'm going to negate the effects of Gozuki. I don't want him to Foolish Barrel other things if I can help it. And that will activate the power of my Freezing Field spell. My Fountain, I should say. I'm getting the names mixed up. Don't mind me. Anyway, get back my cards so I can use them later. Draw some new cards. Ooh, Super Poly. Sweet. Oh, balls. Well, normally I would cherish your ballsiness, sir. However, I'm smart enough not to allow you to do that because I don't trust you. So I will use the power of my Sovereign Tyranny to negate your spell. Then again, you're still going to do something, so we'll see where this is going to go. A zombie deck that actually wants to banish. We will never know. We will never know how cool it would have been because my opponent surrendered right then and there. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure why he surrendered. Why did he surrender? I mean, you were going to do something. I guess I don't know you. I don't know you at all. You say you may know me? No. I don't know you at all. Not when you play like that. Anyway, we'll count this duel and the last one as one solid win, because I think that's fair as like two halves of a duel. So let's go for the end screen. We'll talk more about this deck here. Alrighty, everybody. So MST negates the deck. We're going to call this one 2 out of 3. I think that's fair. We had ourselves some decent duels. Honestly, I'm surprised we had any duels at all. When I was testing and when I started recording this, everyone saw the Runick part of this and just kind of rage quit today. So I can't help with that one. But you know, we got the duels in here finally, and you know, I think it worked out pretty good. We got the Magnifistorms on the board. We got to search out the MST, negate stuff with MST, all the good stuff. The Runicks were about. We didn't go too crazy with them, but just enough to keep our Magnifistorms around. It's a very nice tight package of cards, the Magnifistorms. I like that Konami turned the meme into a reality. Hopefully they don't do. I don't want them to do that with Dark Magician. I don't want them to do with Dark Magician. I want to be able to normal summon attack directly with Dark Magician. Let's not do that. But regardless of that, the Magnifistorms work pretty good. You know, if you go first with this thing, all's ahead pretty much. All's ahead if you go in first with this one. Going second, a little harder, but we have the text to help with that. So I'm happy with the deck. I hope everybody at home is also happy with this one. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Comment in the comments what you think about Magnifistorms. And for now, here is the deck profile for anyone who was just here to hear what cards we're playing. So for our main deck, we have 2 copies of Great Pyrophonics. He's our main boss monster. Spins cards back in the deck when we play our quick play spell cards. I can revive him from the graveyard if I happen to have MST activated on my board. Pretty nice dude to have around. We have our 1 copy of Beauty Valve Rune. Pretty nasty thing. You know, you put this on the board with enough MSTs in the grave, I can negate my opponent's monster's effects. Pretty good thing. Especially good if you happen to be going first and you don't want to have to risk being like Nibiru'd or something. That's pretty useful right there. It's a little tricky to set up for first turn, but it's doable. It's just not always going to be doable, but that's, you know, that's why we play 1 of this. We have, of course, 3 copies of Krothia, which you do want to have 3 of this card, because it's the best searcher in the deck. You summon this thing onto the board, normally or especially, you get a Magnifistorm card and or a Mystic Space Typhoon from deck or grave to your hand. So it's recovery and searching all in one. It's a really great card. You'll want to max out on it. You don't want to play any less of it unless Konami bans it in the future. I doubt it'll happen, but if they did, just be aware of that. You know, Krothia, best searcher in the deck. We've also played 3 copies of Suen and Erdem for monster and spell trap searching. Also, they also search out MST as well. That's kind of a running theme here. Also, we have 2 copies of Magala, which just takes a little bit more setup. You know, you play your quick play spell that's on the board, you're summoning out Suen or Erdem, whoever you have not already summoned out, and just keep building up your board. We have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, which I don't always like to play Ash Blossom, but I consider to have 1 hand trap in the deck. It was gonna be this or Imperm, but you know, we have other things for stopping monsters on the board, so I figured, you know, don't need Imperm here. So I went with Ash. Ash will work. We have, of course, 2 copies of Lightning Storm. If you're going second, you will want this card. You do not want to be caught going second against someone who's got a whole bunch of back row, because 1, you are not going to be able to special summon as much unless you top deck MST. And 2, you don't want to have to deal with like floodgates and things. So Lightning Storm, an imperative card of having this deck, things like that, and you know, Harpy's Feather Duster. But Lightning Storm gives you the option of also blowing up monsters, so that's why I prefer this one. 2 copies of MST. You might think I'd play 3 of this thing, because obvious reasons, but because we have the ability to recover it so much and search it so much, and we don't need to just overwhelmingly negate every. I don't need 3 Omni Negates per turn. Let's put it that way. So I don't need that many Omni Negates per turn. So 2 MSTs is plenty. Plenty. So we also, for our Runick package, we have things like Runick Freezing Curses at 2, Runick Tip at 3. We have Super Poly for just super polying things off the board. I really wish I could have gotten this thing off, but that's neither here nor there. It's a cool card to have in case my opponent has something we can't get around. We happen to have the, you know, fusion that we can make off of my opponent's board. Nice thing to have. We have 2 copies of Runick Slumber, we have 2 copies of Flashfire, and 3 copies of Destruction. All these are for various uses. You know, Curses negates monsters on the board, Tip searches whatever we need, Slumber protects things from being destroyed, Flashfire destroys special summon monsters, and Destruction blows up spell traps. All of them also banish my opponent's stuff, so it can really discombobulate your opponent. We have for our Magnifistorm spell trap lineup things like 3 copies of Stand Tribute to searching out low-level Magnifistormings or getting MST. Again, there's a reason we only need to play 2 of this. We have 2 copies of our Summoning Technique, which is Foolish Burials, well, Phonics, and really only Phonics. Really, that's the only thing you're going to use this for, is ditch Phonics to Graveyard. And then lastly, we have Sight Trace, which is a spell that lets me draw 2 cards and discard any Magnifistorm or Quick Play spell card. And then we're just, just getting more cards on that. It's a draw card. What do you want me to say? It's a nice little draw card. It's a Quick Play 2, sets off our effects. We have 2 copies of Runick Fountain, which normally I'm not a big fan of Runick Fountain for, recovering Quick Play spells and drawing yourself more cards and stuff. But considering what we're trying to do with this particular deck, it's not just, it's not just Runicks and Floodgates and things. It gets a pass here, just for this one. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Magnifistorming Sovereign Tyranny, which is the card that makes the dream into reality. Allows me to recover my Quick Play spell cards, lets me make my monsters just a little bit bigger, and most importantly, allows MST to omni-negate things by blowing up a card. By also, MST will blow up a card, this will negate a card. You can destroy yourself too. I didn't even get to mention that all the Magnifistorming spells, if they get destroyed by MST, come right back onto the board. So, important thing to note there, important thing to know. So, as for our extra deck, we have things like Underworld Goddess, which you can't make too often, but I'd rather have this than not have it, in case my opponent makes something absolutely horrifying, you know what I mean? We have our number 75, Bamboozling Shadow. A nice little rank 3 if we happen to need it, which we rarely do, but if you need it, if your opponent has a lot of hand trap effects and things of that nature, you'll want to have this thing to negate that. We have our Cicada King, another monster effect stopper. A lot of monster effect stoppers here. Not a big fan of that, but wind monsters were locked into. Level 3s kind of went together, you know what I mean? So, Cicada King, we have Totem Bird, which is a spell trap stopper, and then lastly we have Double A Zeus in case we actually need the darn thing, which rarely ever happens, and I'm glad for it. For our fusions, we have things like Hugin for searching the field spell, we have Moonin, which can add runic continuous spells, but we don't actually use that much, but, this is also protection for our field spell if we happen to need it. We have Gary the Runic Fangs if we happen to be need to get a field spell back. But I mostly just threw all the Runick's fusions in here just to have them about. Honestly, could have replaced some of these with more links, but that's beside the point. We have things like Magistus Crozo if we happen to be up against a spellcaster deck. Something like, Albaz, things of that nature. We have Mud Dragon of the Swamp. We have Freki the Runic Fang. We have Garura, the Wings of Resonant Life. Predaplan, Dragstapelia, Starting Benefusion Dragon, and Slafe the Runic Mane. All the various things, I'm not going to go over them too hard. Half of these are for our Super Polymerization. The others are other Runic Fusions, which we can use for various things, depending on the situation. So after the side deck, if you want to tag out Ash Blossom for Full Roast, go right ahead, there's nothing wrong with that. I guess if you want to keep your wallet intact, there's a problem with that. But if you want to just draw more cards, get some more Runicks in the hand so you can play them on your opponent's turn, there's nothing wrong with that. There you go. There's also other fusion for super poly targets, I should say. You have things like Mirror Jade if you're up against like an Albaz deck, same with Titaniclad. You're up against Cybers monsters or like Adignisters or things of that nature. There's Earth Golem, there's Deflexive Command. There's a smorgasbord of different fusions depending on what you expect to be up against, that you will use different fusions for Super Poly. We're playing the most generic ones because they work the most. That's what we got. We have ourselves Harpy's Day of the Duster for, again, back row removal in case we need it. Another MST if you really did want to go for that, but honestly, I stand by the thing. 2 is plenty with this. Another Super Poly if you want to try Super Polying people more. And last but certainly not least, there is Fire Formation Tanky, which really only searches out Suen, but that's still not too shabby. It is your spell trap searcher, so there you go. But yeah, it's a card that you can play in this deck, but it only gets you so far. Maybe if Crothia had also been a Beast Warrior, but is not. But regardless, that is today's deck, everybody. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Next time, I've got a couple decks via the Discord I'm going to make. I'm hoping to get that out before the end of this week. I will do my best, because I still got to finish the Triamid video, which is darn near done. I just got a couple more edits and music, and that'll be done. So, till next time, everybody, stay safe and happy. Your boy Memphis signing out. I'll catch you in the next one. Until next time, you take care.